Hi, if you're hearing this for the first time, welcome to the Film Dork Podcast. My name is Shirley Torrent, and I'm going to be your host today. This is actually the very first episode of my podcast that I hope to be making for a long time. And of course, it's all produced by me. This is just me speaking directly into my microphone at home. I've got it connected to my computer, but I've got some things that I want to say. So, hey, today is just basically going to be a test episode. I'm kind of giving my own thoughts and opinions on, how I feel about the world, just things that are feeling, down and up. I'm really excited to just be here and really comment on things. A lot of my favorite, people in media started out in radio. I wouldn't say Oprah's my favorite person, but I kind of look to her in terms of like something I would want my career to be like massive, become like some huge media personality that people go to. Wendy Williams, she was also like very in tune with pop culture. I actually really like Wendy Williams. Her style of just being able to deliver like news and entertainment journalism and media to her audience and then having them like so engaged to the point where like you can watch old episodes and like still learn things. That's kind of what I want to do here. But also, I think I just want to kind of have like an analytic space too. I watch a lot of, I guess I'll say, a lot of like different reporters and journalists and people in broadcast. There's not really how do I say, like one specific genre. I would like to really like take notes from all of them. I love watching sports journalism. I love watching entertainment news journalism, and I really love enjoying political journalism. I would like to. I think all of those like different formats kind of have a certain way of like recording and stuff, and that's kind of what I want to emulate. Is kind of like one thing from each of those like different sections of journalism and stuff, and really become what I believe this can become, which is an elite broadcast podcast. I mean, an elite podcast where I just talk about all things pop culture, politics sometimes. Maybe I'll be talking about books someday. Maybe I'll be talking about videos. But I know that this can be good and this can be a great thing. So today, though, I am going to talk about what I think is the Victoria Monet Effect. Now, I did do a 1 to 2 minute video on my TikTok and my YouTube. It's the same video. I like repurposing my medias on YouTube and TikTok and sharing them on the same platforms because I know like everyone who follows me on TikTok doesn't follow me on YouTube and everyone who follows me on YouTube doesn't follow me on TikTok. So I like to put it on both platforms. But I really want to discuss what I'm calling the Victoria Monet Effect. And it's essentially this thing or like this idea I have where if you're working like hard enough, you can eventually, achieve success. And that success doesn't have to be like an overnight thing. You don't have to be, like a first year person just breaking into the industry and you have to immediately get like, the Grammy or you have to immediately get the Pulitzer or you have to immediately, be successful. I think that it can happen over time. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't have like a massive platform. I'm saying this as someone, just recording this in my bedroom. I really do believe that this whole purpose, if you stick your course and you stay dedicated to something that you're really passionate about, one day it'll get noticed by people and you can become successful. I think that Tinashe is a good example of this, even though Tinashe had already had mainstream success. One of the most interesting things is seeing that this is exactly 10 years, yeah, after To On, the huge I love to get to on song from the mid 2010s came out. She's getting another viral hit from her new song Nasty, which is such a fun. I think it's like a I don't and this isn't any disrespect at all, but I think that song is just perfect for TikTok. Like I've been a nasty girl, need somebody who can match my freak. Like because this the saying "match my freak" can apply to many things. Like it doesn't just have to be like like a innuendo or a sexual thing. It can be like need somebody who's gonna match my freak. Like are you gonna match my freak? Are you gonna do this with me today? Like I need somebody to be in my circle, agree with me, do the things that I'm gonna do and stuff. Like be on the same wavelength with me. Yeah. So that's something that I really enjoy about that song, and I'm just genuinely happy for Tinashe. If you've been following me a long time, I'll have the video linked down here at the bottom. But if you've been following me for a long time, you know I love Tinashe. I actually made a video on her career because I was deeply inspired by just how incredible the Songs to You album and I can't remember if 333 was out at the same time, but I remember I was just so songs for you was such an incredible album. It really like it genuinely I was a casual fan of Tinashe prior to Songs for You, and then when Songs for You came out, I really like I put on my stand shoes like that's my girl, and so then because of that, I'm just such a huge Tinashe fan. Like I admire her. I really think that Songs for You is a perfect album, and then also she has like Joyride and Aquarius. She really just has a solid discography, and so as a fan, it really is just amazing to see someone who has worked so hard, like for years. Because even before her music, like her mainstream music career, she was on SoundCloud and she was just making her own music and like producing. That's how she got discovered. She was producing stuff. And even before that, she was a child actor. One of my favorite shows ever, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Tinashe is on. So Tinashe has really been in this industry for about 10 to 15 years. And I just keep saying, going back to the Victoria Monet effect, where if you are, like an established artist or an artist in your own right, I think that you can really, make a living and a success off of something as important as this. So that's really something that I wanted to highlight, why I think she's a part of the Victoria Monet effect. But to go back to what the Victoria Monet effect is, in particular with Victoria Monet, she has written for a good majority of the music industry. In particular, she's most known for writing for and with Ariana Grande, as well as Fifth Harmony and some other people in like the pop music. She's probably written for your fave. Some of those, like, she's got some big hits under her belt. But Victoria Monet also had a solo career, but her solo career wasn't necessarily like as big as it could have been or should it be at the time. But she was getting like the hits. She was writing for other people, and that's one thing. Side note: I want to get into songwriting one day because I feel like I just need that one hit that is going to make millions of dollars. Like I think about that story that Jessie J was talking about, where she's made like millions of dollars off of Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA. Like, I just need that one hit, guys. That's all I need to make it, and I think I could be good. But anyways, back to Victoria Monet. She's been, consistently like making money off the hits that she's written in pop music, and so just to think about something like that, she really started to pop and like get more mainstream attention with her song on My Mama, and I believe her most recent album that came out last year. She really gained just like a lot of attention because On My Mama was such a breakout hit, and I knew that On My Mama was going to be a breakout hit because when I first heard it, all I could think of was I actually went to an HBCU, but all I could think of was I was at a football game and like I was hearing horns and stuff. That's all I was thinking about was like those different performances that she could probably do, or like, and I was thinking about like seeing like these different historic Black fraternities and sororities. That's all I could hear and like visualize when I first heard "Oh My Mama." I knew it was going to be a top 40 hit. Like I knew it was going to be something that propelled Victoria Monet to success. So I was like sitting there and I was jamming, and I remember the night it came out, like a lot of people were like being like super judgmental. They were like, joking about the I'm so deep in my bed, like a grandma with the peppermint. I remember all of that, and I have to say, social media can be like such a nasty place, and people can be so judgmental and stuff, but you just have to look beyond it. And I'm so excited and happy for Victoria Monet to have had that moment in career. And then, of course, I believe earlier, I want to say, was it earlier this year? I believe so. Victoria Monet got multiple Grammys, I believe 3 Grammys, one of which was for Best New Artist. And everyone in the industry was so proud of her. I remember seeing multiple celebrities coming forth. Congratulations, Victoria. She's like so amazing, and just talking about like her skills as a songwriter. And I think that's probably what helped her win Best New Artist because she was so established as a songwriter. Like everybody knows how talented Victoria Monet is. Like she's a producer, she's a songwriter. She creates like music videos and gives the creative direction to like the directing and stuff. So she's just like in her mind. She's multifaceted, and that's what I really wanted to highlight in this Victoria Monet episode, this Victoria Monet Effect episode. And I'm sorry, I'm clearing my throat in this mic. I know that's gonna be like hard on your ears, but another artist that I would say I believe is going through the Victoria Monet currently is also Sabrina Carpenter. If we look at Sabrina Carpenter's track record, she's always been had always been she's not a child anymore, but she had always been a child actress. Actually, the Law and Order Twitter page recently just posted Sabrina Carpenter's episode, and she was in a scene with Detective Stabler, or you guys know him as Elliot. And I thought that was a great scene. And then, of course, what I remember her from is Girl Meets World and on Disney Channel. She was on Disney Channel I would have been 13, 14 years old. I was in middle school, high school when that happened. Girl Meets World, which is a spinoff, I think, or yeah, it was a spinoff, I would say. It was kind of like following the events of Boy Meets World, so kind of like a spinoff, but also like not the prequel. I forgot what it's called when it's like after, not a reboot. It's like the series that follows like after the previous series. I'm going to look this up later and I'm going to feel like an idiot. But anyways, Boy Meets World was the show that she was on, and like the clips would go viral all the time. It was a pretty huge show on Disney Channel. I for one was starting to age out of Disney Channel, so I wasn't like the biggest fan. I think the last thing that I saw on Disney Channel that I really enjoyed was Casey Undercover, but that's because I was a huge Zendaya fan. But anyways, Sabrina Carpenter has been releasing music for years. I believe she's had about like 5 to 6 albums recently. But she was really consistent with it, and she wasn't gonna let music go. And then of course here we have, she's having a viral moment. Her album's going to come out later this year. She's having a viral moment with Espresso and the song that recently just came out, Please Please Please, which I think is a country song. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but she's really just having a moment, and it's just another, like thing where if you have that talent, if you have that drive, you need to keep going. That your success doesn't always have to be overnight. That if you are dedicated, you can get to a certain point in your career that is, like breakthrough, a breakthrough and worthy. And that's kind of like really what I wanted to highlight in this Victoria Monet Effect episode. Now, how I'm doing, I'm doing fine. I actually really enjoy being able to talk to you guys. One of my pet peeves about doing this kind of content, I'm happy that I'm doing an audio like podcasting, because as much as I enjoy like making videos for you guys, I've always been like self conscious about being on camera, because I just have, like different worries and concerns. Just with like, I go down rabbit holes on the internet sometimes, and I get really scared of the idea like, oh, someone like might be able to find me and stuff. And I probably shouldn't be saying this on the podcast. It's probably going to be listened to a bunch of people, but I really get concerned about stuff like that. So I really love this approach to podcasting, being able to, speak to this, and you guys don't necessarily have to see me on camera. That's one of my things that I enjoy is when people can really understand me for my intellect or the way I think as opposed to how I look. That's one of the things that I really wanted to try with podcasting, because if I can become like some type of intellectual influencer or someone who like words really matter, it doesn't always have to be about my appearance, how I look on camera. That's something I would like to do. So that's why I'm here with this podcast. Now, this is kind of a short podcast. It's going to maybe only be 15 minutes, but I just wanted to give you guys my take and my thoughts on the Victoria Monet effect, why I think that Tinashe and Sabrina Carpenter are also, a part of this whole like effect thing, as well as just, my background. Now, I do plan to do a podcast episode weekly. I can keep up with this. This isn't going to be like writing where I'm like, oh, I say I'm going to write weekly, and then I just don't like this kind of format is much more easier to me because I'm just speaking to you guys. This is kind of like a community, that I'm building through just being able to create it myself. And you guys have to bear with me with the audio just quality because this is all in my room and it is on a microphone. But if this grows and if I'm consistent, I believe that the audio quality will improve as more and more as I get more consistent with it. So yeah, this is the final thing I'm going to say. Make sure you tune in to me weekly. I'm going to be announcing podcasts. I'm going to try to do it sometime during the week. I haven't decided a day. It might end up being Friday weekly. I know this is going to release probably on Wednesday or Thursday of this week because it's Juneteenth, so we don't have work. Thank God it's a national holiday now, so, and a federal holiday, of course. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my very first podcast episode, and yeah, make sure you subscribe to my Substack so you don't miss a beat. Sometimes I'm going to try to be more active in Substack. I'm going to give you guys notes. Sometimes I'll write an article. Sometimes I'll give you guys audio snippets. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. And for those of you who have been subscribed to everything else that I do, I love you and I appreciate you very much. So yeah, this is Shorty's Horn, logging you out from episode 1 of Film Dark. Thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Mwah.